Hello YouTube, this is the 30-cent piece, and those shots that you just saw were fired from a Glock 21 45 ACP with a 10 millimeter barrel and a 10 millimeter magazine, using the Lee Classic turret, 4-stage press, SR40 756 powder, 10 millimeter Hornady XTP 155 grain ammo, and Starline 10 millimeter brass. The reason why I'm making this video is that I didn't see a lot or any really good reloading tips on 10 millimeter, and the reason why I'm making it is that the Lee kit that comes in this is actually for 10 millimeter and 40 Smith & Wesson. However, the instructions are only for 40 millimeter, so if you follow the directions for 40 Smith & Wesson, you're going to end up making a lot of mistakes, as I have, and you will do something as stupid as making bullets that look like this, or even worse, like this. So one of the things that that you need to know when you buy the kit is that for the most part, the instructions for your first stage is correct. Screw the die down until it meets the shell holder. After that, you've really got to start changing things up a little bit. Your powder measure, you need to adjust the height of it to where it doesn't overseat or over flare your casing. If it gets too open, then it's going to be harder to neck. When you bring your casing down, it's going to shake your press. So you need to play with it a little bit and start opening up your flare enough, and then just testing to see how your bullet is starting to seat. And then you can find out where that sweet spot actually is. So adjusting the height up and down on your flare tool until you just get the right seat or flaring to get your bullet to go in there will be ideal. The real problem, I think, is when it goes to your bullet seating. And again, you don't want to do anything like this. And if you only screw this thing, the instructions say to screw this down until it meets the shell holder and then turn it back 3 full turns. Throw that out of the book. The best thing that you can do is to go ahead and put a casing in there and lower your ram all the way down, and then screw this down until you feel it meet the shell casing. And you want to make sure that your bullet seating is all the way up. Then you want to actually introduce a bullet on top of it, and then bring it up, and then move this down until you get your case overall length. As far as the factory crimp die, you can pretty much follow directions on it, because it says to lower the die down until it hits the shell casing or the shell holder, and then lower your ram down and turn this a quarter of a turn, and then you'll get your factory crimp die. That has worked perfectly so far. So it took me a couple of days to figure all this out, and still got all my fingers and I haven't blown up anything, so I'll call it a success. What we're going to do now is load 5 bullets rather slowly, the way that I do, and that'll be it. Okay, so this will be reloading cartridges in a really slow manner to make sure that you guys understand the necessary steps in trying to develop an accurate load. The first thing that I do is I want to make sure that I have a decent scale that's been calibrated to a known weight, and that way I can make sure that I measure my throws really good. Then I have a set of digital calipers that I can use to measure my case overall length. So the first thing that I do, obviously I have a shell, so I'm going to index this up. It sizes the neck at this point, and then I prime it, and the primer actually goes into the casing when you push all the way up at this point. Now, this is the point that where I get a little technical. This is where we want to flare the shell and then load it as well. So the first thing that I do is I'm going to put it on my scale that's been calibrated, and I'm going to put it on grains, and I'm going to tear the scale to where it zeroes it out. And then I'm going to flare my shell, put in a throw from the Lee Perfect powder measure. It's not that easy to see, but that's the powder measure that I actually use. And then I'm going to bring it out, and then I'm going to weigh that just to make sure that my throw is good. That throw is actually measuring 8.5. If I'm not good with that, then I'm going to just simply throw that back up into the powder measure and do it again, just to make sure that I got the load that I want. This one's going to come out at 8.5 again. 8.5 is actually on the high side of loading. If you look at the bullet that I'm using, it starts off at 7.5 and it's supposed to never exceed 8.5. So 8.5 is good for me. I'm going to go ahead and load this one. So I've got a cartridge, a shell with a flared on it with powder in it. I'm going to index my turret over one time, place my bullet on top of it, and load that up. Seat the bullet in there really good. And then what I want to do is I want to take my digital calipers and I want to measure it to make sure the case overall length is fairly accurate. And I've got 1.266, which is pretty good for this right here. You're not supposed to go under 1.260. If I wanted to increase that on the next, or decrease that shell length, I would just adjust this top knob on the die set. I'm going to index my turret around one more, and then a lot of people don't understand what the factory crimp die actually does. But if I measure this bullet right now, it's at 0.4250 for the most part. I know that might be hard to see. And then down at the base, I've got a little bit total different measurement. This is actually going to put a crimp around the top portion of the bullet. It's going to help you with your accuracy and your pressures. And there you've got your factory crimp. So that's one. Now I'm going to go through this one a little bit faster. Neck would deprime if there was a spent primer in there. Prime the cartridge. Flare. Throw. Bullet seat. Factory crimp die. And I've got another one right here at 1.2650 again. Really accurate. Lee Precision is really good equipment. It allows you to do reloading, and it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. I'm going to do another one really quick. Index my turret size with D prime. I'm going to tear this one right here just to. Sometimes, like after so many, I'm going to actually measure and make sure that my powder measure is working properly. And got another good one right there, so I can let that one go. And there you have it. There's 3 reloads, rather slow, but again, I'm trying to, at this point, develop a load that will ensure the accuracy of using the Hornady bullet and the powder that I'm actually using. And one of these days, most people already know about interchanging barrels on the Glock. It's a really good feature on those. Welcome your comments. Thank you.